How are you?
How are you?
How are you, Jim?
Yeah, all right.
Great, great. Great to see you. Great to see you.
You told me there were three houses with 27.
Oh yes, 27 Heaney's. They were up the mountain. They were up further up the mountain. My ancestors came here with O'Neill in 1601. And
Was that down in the Free State here?
yeah, because
It's one of 27 were?
yes, they came. They established themselves in the mountain after 1601. We're here from 1601.
That family come down here, or you don't
Yes,
know?
they came down here with O'Neill. Several families came.
Is there many Heaneys around in this area?
There was about 50 years ago. There was about 6 families. 100 years before that, there was 14 families.
Oh,
But they're all
related?
all immigrated.
All immigrated.
There's a few of them now, a good few of them around Clonaslee, back up Rosgrave side and back that area there. But there was a historian here one time, Tobias Chambers, and he wrote a history in Irish, in the Old Gaelic. He wrote it in 1688, and he mentioned about all the families that came from the north of Ireland with the great Hugh O'Neill. He was a great general. He was going to Kinsale in Cork to fight the British. And when they lost the battle, actually, O'Neill marched his troops from the north of Ireland across the country up to Kinsale in Cork. And he marched them 40 miles a day. And it was the worst winter in living memory. And he had 12,000 troops. And he had 2,000 mercenaries from Scotland as well with him. And they fought the Battle of Kinsale was fought on Christmas Eve 1601. And O'Neill lost the battle and they retreated back the way they came. They came back this way, this is the way they came back. And a lot of his soldiers, a lot of his followers remained in the mountains from Rosgrave back down to here, including Donnellys, Corrigans, Heaneys, Danahers, Duffys, Breslins, McCorrys, McMurraghs, McAllisters, Mulveys, Mullenses, McCormicks. They all settle around here.
Well, several of those names you mentioned are in our local area.
Ah, there you are.
Mullins.
Yeah, there you are. Yeah.
When they came here, were they all Heaney's or Heaney's?
The old name was O'Heaney, but under English law, you had to drop the O or the Mac.
Oh, that's right.
You were compelled to drop it.
Well, the old man, the old stuff, gave him like a servant of a ward or something. And
What the O distinguished, was that
The O means descendant of.
oh,
descendant?
And Mac, you would say if there's Mac Heaney or Mac Redmond or McAllister, it means son of.
Son of.
Mac is a son. It's son of. But O goes back further, descendant of. We were descended from Enda. You see it there?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and Mac Lysart now, he was a great historian, and he was able to trace all the old Gaelic families. And he said it, if you read it there, he said it, the Heaney name could go back to the 9th century, or even further back. Well now, the Heaneys and the O'Carrolls, they were another great Gaelic sept. Some of them immigrated.
Excuse me, why are you talking about sept? What does sept mean?
Sept means a clan.
Clan. I
Yeah.
thought it was family, but it's clan.
A clan.
Yeah.
And a clan would own the whole territory.
Yeah.
Now, it's mentioned there about down in Derry and down in those places. They owned territory, maybe 5,000-6,000 acres, and they'd have a castle or whatever it should be, and they ruled that. And when the English came in, then they pushed them out, and they had to remain on as mere tenants. And the Carrolls and the Heaneys were of the same branch, and the Carrolls emigrated to America, and Charles signed the Declaration in 1776. He was the only Catholic and the richest man in America. And the first Catholic bishop in America was Bishop John Garrett. And their descendants often come to me here.
Oh, yeah.
And I was interested in the Carrolls because when they traced the two families back, in the 3rd century there was a king of Munster. In the 3rd century, and his name was Olive. And he had 2 sons. One of them was Owen Moore and the other was Keane. We're descended from Owen Moore, and the Carrolls are descended from Keane.
Oh. That's the connection.
No, that's the connection. So we're able to trace back to the 3rd century.
Wow.
In your time, were there more Heaneys around here?
Oh, gee, there was. Oh, there was indeed, yeah. They all lived up the mountain because,
No, in your time?
oh, yeah, they did. There was a few. They all immigrated to Australia. A lot of them immigrated to Australia.
Not America, to Australia.
My father was in New York for 25 years. And he had a brother, Bill, in New York. And he had a sister in the Bronx.
Maybe that's where some of those Heaneys we see in New York today come from.
Yeah. Yeah, could be. Yeah.
I go to, have you heard of AA?
Alcoholics Anonymous?
Or the what?
Have you heard of
Oh,
Alcoholics
did I have?
Anonymous?
Yes.
So I go there, there's a fellow named Kevin Heaney, but he's not really, I say our ancestors are home from different trees.
Oh, yeah. Well, they were the one clan. They were the one that came from the one
Yeah, way back. They came
way
from
back
one clan.
in the 3rd century.
He traces his family to an Edward Heaney.
Oh, from where?
I don't know.
What part of Ireland?
I haven't had that much conversation with him because
Yeah.
he only comes out weekends. So
Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah.
he lives in New York City, works.
And we have a nephew from our oldest brother, his next
Yeah.
older to him.
Yeah.
His name is Kevin Heaney.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's as Irish as you can get, you know. Yeah. It's amazing. A lot of the Americans, I have a lot of them come over and they're very interested in their background, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They're not that worried about here at all, you know, because they know too much about it, you know. But the Americans like to search the family tree.
Yeah.
Our parents' name was right after all Irish saints. Mary,
Oh.
William, James, Joseph,
Oh, lovely. Yeah, yeah.
Bernadette,
Oh, lovely.
John.
Keep on the old tradition.
We got 5 brothers, 4 brothers, Jim, Jack, Joe, and Jerry. So if a letter came J. Heaney, you passed it. It might be a bill you passed it around. You know.
Our grandfather's name was John Heaney.
John. It was
And
John.
when year was he born? 1863. So there's been a John Heaney in Greenport since 1863, where we live.
My
But I'm the last of the clan because I got 7 daughters.
Oh. Yeah. There was Johns and this family too, and Brian's and James and
We've got them.
Michael and
We've got them.
Pat. And my father's name was Brian. That was a great name, you know, handed down from one generation to
Yeah.
the other.
One
Brian Baru, right?
Well, Brian Barrow.
Yeah.
that brought our branch to the States is Patrick. The Heaney that brought our branch to the States is Patrick.
Oh, Patrick. And you were trying to figure out where can you trace where exactly? Is it possible?
We're still working on it, but
Where did you say that it left off, Uncle Jim? You said you had the family Bible from Patrick,
Yeah.
and
he's...
it said Queens County, or just...
It mentioned she was from Wicklow, and then it's Queens County in there. It doesn't exactly say he came from there. There's no mention of any, but she mentioned, see, she must have kept it, his missus.
Yeah.
And I don't think he could read it right because I've never seen anything from him.
Yeah.
So, Queens is mentioned in the Bible, but it doesn't say why it's mentioned. But when she mentioned she was from Wicklow, I figured when she put Queens down, she must have meant he was from Queens.
Queen's County. Yeah, well that's Laois at the moment.
Laois.
And actually, you came from Dublin, did you?
Yes, we did.
When you passed through Queen's County?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Yes, it came down.
Yeah. Queen's County was, the British put that on it in honour of one of the British queens, you see.
Any particular reason why they picked out these 2 counties to call King and Queens? Or
The what?
any particular reason why they have to pick these 2 counties out to call Kings and
Kings and Queens, oh yes. They were the first 2 counties to be planted. That's planted with English. And that was in 1537.
He said they were first ones were actually English people went into.
Were
So that's-
planted.
Yeah.
We call them planters, you know.
Yeah, I know what you referred to.
people accepted them?
Oh, so yeah, they brought them in from England.
They embraced them, so that's why they called it.
Yeah, and they kicked out the natives.
They kicked out the Irish and
Yeah.
brought in the English to
That's right.
settle the areas.
And most
Oh, in other words, when they named the Kings of Queens County, they were British settlers.
all settlers.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. They were the first 2 counties in Ireland to be settled with English planters.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So they come from Dublin out?
Oh, they came over from England, came over across.
No, but I meant when the man...
Oh, they're coming in, they would. Oh, yes, they would, of course. They spread out, yeah. So, there was a lot of, there were a few Heaney's now in Tipperary, up Rosgrey and that side. And it mentions one fella there, Cornelius O'Heaney, he was a millionaire, he gave all his money to charity in New York.
He owned the property where the big Waldorf Astoria Hotel stands in New York City today.
That's right. You knew about him, did you?
He had no children. We read about
That's
it
right.
locally. He
Yeah.
had no children, and what didn't go to charity went to a distant cousin somewhere, right, Jim? Isn't that what we were told?
Yeah, they were hotel they wrote them. And then they wouldn't accept any proof in wrote them.
Yeah?
None was proven, that's what it was.
I
None was
see.
proven, that's why it ended up to charity.
Oh,
A lot of Heaney's claimed this money, but they couldn't prove they were related.
the relations. Yeah. Yeah. He left at the age of 30, it said there, and became a multi-millionaire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And my father knew about him. And he must have been from the areas around between here and Rosgrave, because it said there the Offaly Tipperary border. So that's only about a few miles up
A few
the road.
miles the road, right?
Yeah.
We just passed it.
well,
Yeah, but my father's heard about him. He said he was no good.
No good, but guy had a lot of money.
Yeah.
where do you emanate from?
He says Tipperary Offaly border is where
That would
they-
be about 5, 6, 7 miles from here, Rosgrey area.
Oh, he came
From
came
From
this
there,
area.
yeah. Oh, for originally
And he
from
says
there,
his
yeah.
father said he was no good.
No good. He was a miser, he said.
That's how he became a millionaire.
Became one, you know. Sit down in the old one.
No, I'm fine, Patrick.
They get this drink.
He made his money in trading, I believe.
What? He made his money from?
Trading with the Indians. What helps them all.
Have you got drink for this gentleman when you're ready?
Then he got into railroads.
Oh, so that trade with Indians.
That's how he initially got
liquor or what?
started. Yeah, that's how he initially got started, yeah.
Then he got into the railroads and he invested his money in the railroads.
Oh, yeah.
Railroads were big money makers when they began.
It's funny, in our community, they have the oldest continuously owned by one family restaurant in America, so they claim, and nobody disputes it. But the first liquor license that was made to Ellen Heaney Claudio. She married a Portuguese. He wasn't a citizen, and she was, and she got the license. She's related to us, I
Well,
think.
she was married to an Irishman named Darby.
Oh,
But Darby died and left a widow with 4 children, so she had to do something.
Yes.
So she married Claudio.
oh, yeah.
And it's a big name back in the States,
Is it?
on Long Island, yeah, where we come from.
My God.
What's the big name?
Claudio, because of the restaurant name and the trade, that's all.
Yes.
Just like one community, one family, but he's owned that the family's owned that same restaurant, big restaurant for a generation.
My God. Yeah. And do you ever get together over there, have a chat and...
We have, in our family, we have a Heaney family reunion every year.
Oh my goodness.
What is it, it's 46 this year?
Either 6 or 7.
Yeah, 46 years since my mother.
Consecutive years.
It's gotta be 46, Jim, because she started 56 when I got out of the service. It's 46 years.
We'd had them more or less
Informal.
off and on. And now 46, this will be
Yeah.
46.
Yeah.
And we go anywhere from 85, we had 134 at the 40th.
Oh,
They said by the time they got done counting on the 40th, the people coming late and everything, and counting all the children, 176 was what they said. Now, whether it's true or not, I don't know.
It more than I was.
I guess.
In-laws and outlaws.
Yeah.
Take water or lemonade?
Water would be wonderful.
Water.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
and will you
Oh, that'd be great. Thank you.
No, we're fine. We're enjoying you.
Yeah.
Take a cup of coffee or anything like
Have
that.
a cup of coffee.
Yes, I never
Yes,
say
we would
no.
have that.
Yeah, strong. Yeah.
But I have,
Cheers.
out in the car, I have a little keychain that says Heaney Family Reunion on it. It's got a shamrock. I want to give it to you
Oh, lovely. Great.
when we get a chance.
Okay.
Don't let me forget it, because I got it.
These boys were going to a gin mill the other night. They were going to go to a gin mill the other night, so
Oh,
I said, I'll go to an AA meeting. I want that, he made me the speaker.
no.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
in Dublin.
Oh, yes, yeah.
You had a pretty good joke, didn't you?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
you know, every AA meeting they have a speaker. He's the guest speaker.
Yes, I know.
So, Paddy and Mike have been drinking together for years. And they joined AA together. So it's often talk that wondered if it was AA in heaven. So they made a pact. If one of them died first,
Yeah.
if he could communicate, he would. So Paddy died. In 2 years went by, I never heard a word. One night Mike's laying in bed, he hears his voice, Paddy. And he said, the voice said, Mike. He said, Paddy, is it you? He said, yes. Me from heaven. He's like, I got good news and bad news. He said, give me the good news first. The good news is there's AA in heaven. The bad news is you're speaking tomorrow night.
He said they fell down in the aisle laughing.
Oh, yeah. Is this your first time over here?
Both of us, yes.
Both of you?
First time I've been in Europe. In World War II, I put in almost 4 years, but I was in the Pacific against the Japanese.
Oh,
In the Korean War, I was in the Navy and spent 4 years on the Eastern Seaboard.
is that?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Then my grandson, he says, he asked me,
So that's how you're away. That's a cigarette.
No, it's just an ashtray, so I can
And
use
he
it.
wants to smoke now. Smoke.
Yeah.
You want to smoke?
Yeah, we will.
my grandson asked me something about World War II, you know,
Yeah.
the pictures he sees. He said, is that true? I said, I don't know. He said, I thought you were in the service. I said, I was. He said, you weren't in Europe? I said, no, against the Japanese. Was that the same war? He said,
Yeah, they have no comprehension.
Yeah.
The fella said one night in the bar room, I happened to meet my father there, and he says, well, you weren't in the war, Bill. He said, no, but I had 3 sons in the Second World War and 3 in the Korean War, and he ended up 2 or 3 grandsons in the Vietnamese War.
Oh my God.
America sticks its nose into everything, getting on all kind of wars.
Yeah.
Well, World War I, World War II, we had to get in. It's a good thing we did because we helped save everybody else.
Oh yes, yeah.
But we had the know-how and the ability to make the equipment, and we had the manpower.
My father was in New York during the First World War, but he wasn't conscripted. He was the War of Independence was going on here at the time. A lot of the Irish were coming back here to fight here.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
That was fighting the English?
English, yeah.
I see.
World
What
War
was that, 1916?
It started in 1916 and
Yeah.
it ended 1921. And then the Civil War started, which was worse. Yeah.
and
All belonged to me were involved in both the War of Independence and the Civil War. My mother, she was involved in it as well. All the women were involved in what we call coming among us. It was a sort of a Red Cross
Yeah.
business. But they used to distribute arms and carry arms.
Oh, God.
Yeah, my mother had a remarkable bullet in her head. Yeah.
in World War II, America had 16 million people in service.
Oh.
16 million
Yeah.
between the Army, Navy, and Marines, the Air Force.
Yeah. Yeah, I explained it all in depth now. They're about the War of Independence and the
Do you?
Civil War. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
So have you been over to the United States at all, Paddy?
No,
No.
I never. I was invited over a few times by the Carroll Institution. They were launching the Carroll papers, and I got a few invitations to go over to Maryland and got it.
Every once in a while, I get a telephone call from somebody that just moved out into our area, because it's a big resort area, and
Yeah.
a lot of the wealthy people are moving out to buy
Yeah.
homes, so they have it for weekends and summers.
Yeah.
And they'll say, "Oh, my name is Heaney, I must be related to you." I says, I asked him a couple of questions, and I said, "If you are, it must go way back."
Indeed, it probably all stems from the same clan, I
That's
think,
what you
is
said.
what you were saying.
That's there, you know. Bring that back with you and get a few copies out and hand them around to the people.
Good.
They're there.
So you think primarily came from Armagh and Louth?
Oh, yes, yes, yeah.
We spent one night in the north of Ireland,
Did you?
in, what is it, Enniskillen?
Skillen?
Enniskillen, yeah.
And it was May 1st. And they were looking at us with beady eyes. They were very uncivil to us.
Oh, yes,
Not all of them, but...
yeah.
They were not very friendly, let's
And
say,
then we
even
found
amongst
out,
themselves.
we found out the next day why. We couldn't wait to get back to the south of Ireland.
Oh, yes.
What a difference in the people. What a difference in their temperament.
Oh, for goodness sake. Yeah. I was invited down to Belfast to meet a friend down there, and I dread going down there.
That's what a lot of the people from the south
But
say.
I'd love to go down to, to Derry and see where our ancestors came from. They're still down there. There's a lot of them still down there. And I'd love to go down, but you don't like going down with the atmosphere.
Yeah.
You know?
We have relatives on my mother's side, McCaffrey's,
Oh, yeah.
and they were in Fermanagh.
That's a northern name, McCallum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got quite a history.
Oh, yeah.
And
Warriors.
my grandmother's mother was a Connolly from Bally Bay.
Oh.
Is that name Monahan?
Uh-huh.
So we went there.
Oh, did you? Did you locate anybody here?
No.
And that's
We
only
didn't spend too much time, but we went to the local church and
Yeah.
we went to the graveyard. And graveyards are, the way they take care of those graves is immaculate.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I took several pictures of it to show my wife, and you got pictures.
Yes, I do, yeah.
My wife sees it because she's always complaining about the priest doesn't take care of our cemetery good enough. It's clean and neat, but sometimes they let the grass go a couple of weeks when they shouldn't because they're paying somebody to cut it.
Yeah. Oh, it's important
No.
to maintain the
But I'll tell you
graveyard.
one thing, they had cement cemetery plots in some of those cemeteries we saw, they'd be sick to my heart if they'd never seen a piece of ground.
Oh, yeah.
It's the most expensive real estate in America, the funeral plot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Per square foot, right?
Yeah. Oh, the north of Ireland, that's where a lot of the English and Scots were they got the land. After the Battle of Kinsale, when O'Neill was defeated, the north was wide open, so they drafted in thousands of English and Welsh and Scots in there.
Yeah, I read a couple of books where they talk about they brought in all the English to just move the Irish out and brought in the English to run the place.
Paddy, if the name say Heaney, if that was an Irish name, chances are it's still, I mean a Catholic name, it still is a Catholic name. The name, I thought Heaney or McCaffrey. It was a Catholic name back then, it probably
Oh, it
still
was,
is.
of course, yeah.
It probably still is, right?
Oh, yes, of course it is. Yeah.
I mean, they don't jump the fence, become Protestants and use the same handle, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because so many people were forced to jump the fence.
That's right. Sure. We say the local chieftains or the people who were in charge of the land. They were the first people that the British got on to conform to the established church, to take the oath of allegiance, to hand over their land to be re-granted. Because the land was free here. Everybody had their land free. You had to pay nothing. But you were under the chieftain, and then if a war broke out, you had to go and fight with the chieftain. But you had your land free, and you had to maybe help out the chieftain in regard to farming and
Whenever he called.
Whenever he called.
Yeah.
But everything was free. But once the English came in, they put a rent on the land.
Tax.
Tax, and the Irish resented that.
If you didn't pay your taxes, they'd move you out by burning you down.
Oh yes, out you went. So a lot of the Irish refused to take this, so they were kicked out. The Carols now were kicked out.
You said that Irish king come down here to fight for the British.
Yes, he fought the British in Kinsale and Cork.
Did the men that come with him, they do that on their own, or they pledged to him to come?
Oh, they were his. He was.